The United States government is insolvent and is heading straight for a Great Depression. Now, I know these are some bold accusations, but I have support behind my thesis. And in this video, I'm going to give you my top 5 reasons why the United States government is heading straight for a Great Depression and what you can do to prevent yourself. Without any further ado, cue that music.
I'm hustling, 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 every.
Welcome back to The Matrix. You're not just in The Matrix, you are The Matrix. How's it feel, Neo? Haha, what's going on? It's your boy Ski, and today I'm going to tell you why I believe the United States government is heading straight for a Great Depression. Now, here are my top 5 reasons, and there is hope at the end of this video. I'm going to tell you what you can do as well as the timeline on when I think this will happen. All right, so I'm going to go over briefly, and then I'm going to go over in depth each reason why. Number 1 reason is the United States debt is out of control. Number 2 reason is the World Economic Forum has been saying over and over again, we are leveraged towards technology. A new economy leveraged towards technology. Number 3 reason why AI is about to steal or take a huge chunk of the United States jobs. Number 4, the NASDAQ and the Dow Jones has hit almost perfectly a 4.236 extension. When this happens, it tends to almost always roll over and go back down, just like in 1929. And number 5, reason why we are on a 100-year loop, in my opinion. I'm going to go deeper on each one of these and how you can prevent yourself from being, and what you can do to not only prevent yourself from going into poverty, but also have great life-changing, generational changing wealth. Because in the previous Great Depression, there's 3 groups of people, and they always teach you about the first group, but in reality there was 3 groups of people, and they were all equally broken up, and they are as follows. One group of people was starving, and that's the group that they always teach you about in school, okay? And that was about 33% of the population. There was another group of people that were basically middle class. Like, they were struggling a little bit, but they made ends meet and they got by, and really they were okay. They were working class people. And then the third portion of the group got filthy freaking rich. And there's a saying, never let a good crisis go to waste. And I'm going to tell you how you can capitalize and have generational wealth for your family. All right, so let's look at reason number 1, the U.S. debt. Okay, so the Federal Reserve raised interest rates yet again. Right now, there is literally no further place to go, and I'm going to explain my math. All right, and let me just stop on the suspense for a second. I believe we have about another 6 or 7 years before this fully unfolds, but it's going to take a good 6 or 7 years of planning in order to be on the top third. Okay, so this is very forward looking. I believe 1928, 1929, and I believe going up into 1928, 1929, it's going to be really euphoric, just like the Roaring 20s. So when that happens, just remember to save an acorn for winter, because winter is coming, my friend. All right, on the U.S. national debt, everyone looks at this $31 trillion, right? And for good reason. But it's actually much worse than that. It becomes more expensive on the debt that we already have. All right, so look at this. The federal tax revenue last year was $4.8 billion. Okay? The interest on this debt right here is just the interest alone, meaning the minimum payments is $4.8 billion. So right now, The United States government they're generating as much income as they have in minimum payments on their credit card. Okay? And it even breaks it down per citizen. And I'm going to break it down for you. The average citizen generates $14,000 in revenue. The liability per citizen down here at the bottom is $519,000 in liabilities. That would be like if I worked at McDonald's part-time and I made $14,000 and I had $519,000 of credit card debt. That is what the United States government is right now. This is far beyond repairable. They cannot fix this. This right here, this is not fixable. And what happens when something is so far gone, it's not fixable, there's nothing that we can do, it is way too far gone. What do? A start over of grand magnitude. Some would call it a great reset. Okay, they're going to wipe this and go to a completely different system. Reason number 2. The World Economic Forum has been saying since 2020, and Jerome Powell has been saying since 2020, since C19, the post-pandemic, they have been saying we're coming into a new economy leveraged towards technology. Okay? Now, it was not so blatantly obvious. I will admit, I believe this, and I believe that we were going to have to shift leverage towards technology. These are the only people that are going to be making money or wealth in the future. It was not so blatantly obvious that it was AI. And when this chat GPT came out and I started playing around with it, it was blatantly obvious to me just what they were meaning. They have been saying this since 2020. A new economy leveraged towards technology. All right? How they get inflation down is by raising rates high enough to jobs start to adapt and lay off. Once jobs come down, unemployment goes up, inflation thus goes down because people have less money. All right, that is how they get inflation down. When I tell you that this chat GPT is the biggest invention as far as technologically since Google, and even beyond that, it is crazy. Like, this stuff is writing code, this stuff is writing essays, writing scripts. Like, lots of people are going to lose their jobs, and it is so crazy. Today, I asked Alexa when she was going to be integrated with artificial intelligence. And she began to tell me that AI is going to fully take over in 2024. And she was talking about the truck drivers, which is crazy because that's not even what I asked her. But I know that this is a fact, and this is what I've been saying for 3 or 4 years, that the truck drivers are going to be taken over by self-driving trucks. And people say, oh, you're crazy. Oh, you're crazy. It's like, okay, bro. Okay. But I asked her, Alexa said 2024 is when the process is going to begin to start to shift. In 2027, it will be fully integrated. Okay, I asked her how many truck drivers there are on the road today. There are 3.5 million truck drivers on the road today. There is only 330 million people in America. Not all of those are working people. A huge portion of those are boomers and retired, and a huge portion of those are Gen Z and not working. So this is at least 20% of the working force are truck drivers, and that is just one aspect of the job market. I'm going to let you breathe on that for a little bit. That is just one aspect of the job market. If you cannot figure out how to leverage technology towards making income, you are going to be left in the dust. Because what this thing is, I took an hour-long script. I copied it and pasted it and told it to break it down in 10 key bullet points, and it did it in 45 seconds. There's not a human alive that can keep up with that. And it's free. Okay, we are on a 100-year loop, and we are on a 7-year cycle. Every 7 years, we go into a Shmita. Just the last few Shmitas. have been 2001 was 9/11. That was a Shmita, and the dot-com bubble busted on 2001. 2008, the real estate market crashed. That was a Shmita. 2015, the Chinese stock market crashed. That was a Shmita. Every 7th year is the Shmita. 2022, we had the recession here, and people definitely felt that. And the next Shmita is going to be 2029. Now, I believe personally, once we get out of this little recession, 2024, 2025, 2026, 2027, it's going to be roaring and rocking. Okay, just like the roaring 20s. And this is your cue right now. I'm telling you right now. You have to invest in real assets right now. You have to invest into real assets right now. Whether it's skills, whether it's gold, silver, whether it's cryptocurrency, whether it's real estate, whatever it is, you need to be doing this right now. And up into the roaring, you need to take profit and set aside a stack for 2029, because that is the next Shmita. And that is when I believe the chickens will come to crow. Okay, reason number 4. The Dow Jones has hit a perfect 4.236 extension. When this happens, it rolls back over. Now, let's get into that. And your cue for this to be happening, your cue for when this is going to happen, is when Congress bans themselves from owning individual stocks. When they ban themselves from owning individual stocks, run for the hills. It is time to sell, because right here, believe it or not, I promise you, right here at this very tippy top, the Fed magically banned themselves from owning individual stocks. Okay? So I believe we're going to bounce out of here up into the roaring 2020s, and we're going to hit this 4.236 extension, and then boom, Congress are going to ban themselves from owning stocks, and this is going to roll way the hell over, back testing these points down here. This could take over a decade to play out, just like it did. We were in the Great Depression for over 10 years. Okay? This is very macro looking. All right, so this is how I believe different things are going to happen all together, all at once. Reason number 5, and this one is going to tie into how it's going to play out. Reason number 5 that I believe the United States government is heading straight for a grand depression and a grand start over of great magnitude is we are in fact on a 100-year loop. There's many theories to place this out, but just think about this. 1929, what happened? The Spanish flu happened. 2020, what happened? I don't even need to say it. You know. The world wars. Guess what? We have rumors of wars now. Okay? There are many, many examples on why we are in fact on a 100-year loop. So that being said, what happened in 1929? The Great Depression happened in 1929. What was going to happen, in my opinion, in 2029? The Great Depression 2.0. Now, if you we have 6-7 years to prepare. Okay? I'm trying to get this community to be on the other side, on the top third of the people that went through the Great Depression, because they only tell you about the bottom third, but really there was 3/3. At least be in number 2. But I'm trying to teach you guys on what you can do to be in the top third. And how I think this is going to play out esoterically is on the national debt. They have over-tightened. Back to the national debt. They have over-tightened. Okay? We are already at the maximum. We only have so we have 4.89 and we're at 4.85. We are play out esoterically. They're all for tightening. They are all for tightening. Okay, they're all for tightening, right? So was Great Britain. And the second that the bond market started to collapse, they changed their tune immediately. And the United States government is going to do the same. And what they're going to do, the second that they face adversity of the piper coming to pay the piper, right? The second that happens, they are going to reverse. They're going to pivot. They're going to turn the money printer back on. This is when times are going to be euphoric again. Everybody's going to be making money because money is everywhere. Okay, that is the roaring 20s. And then they're going to have to tighten it again, but it's going to be so far out of control that even the minimum payments will not be that of what the revenue is, as well as people losing their jobs together. This is what's going to cause it. And what you can do now is you need to be dollar cost averaging into real assets, whether this is silver, gold, Bitcoin, real estate, whatever the case may be. You need to be learning your skills. You need to be leveraging yourself towards technology so that you can come out of this on the top end. This is a very, very macro warning video, but I have to tell my community. I have to prepare my community because this could be an opportunity of a lifetime. Even though that this looks like scare, I'm not trying to spread fear. What I'm trying to spread is caution. It's not the time to be making big purchases. Okay, it's not the time to be making, like, buying a car unless you absolutely need one. It's not the time to be making these huge purchases. Instead, it's a time to be honing on your skills, figuring out how you can generate income, leverage towards technology, dollar cost averaging into cryptocurrencies, into gold, into silver, into real estate, things that are tangible, things that are finite. As always, none of this is financial advice. I am not a financial advisor. This is my take and why. This is not to spread fear. This is my last point. You should never, ever operate out of fear. However, caution is your friend. Fear is your enemy. That is it for this time. Peace, love, prosperity. God first. God bless. I'm out.
Damn hustling, 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 hustling,
It's your
hustling,
boy
hustling,
Ski.
hustling, 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 hustling. Every